Hello, this is Dave, the Enlightened Plumber, and what we have for you today is a beautiful sunny day. Our quote is, "Nothing is really work unless you would rather be doing something else." So nothing is really work unless you would rather be doing something else. And this is from James Barrie. So, what my take on this quote is really looking at what your day would be like, or how you treat your day, or pretty much anything you do. So say you wake up at the weekend and you've got all these chores to do, or there's something that's kind of like, oh man, I gotta do this, I gotta help the family out, or maybe I've got to paint that room, or I don't know, maybe I got to clean the basement or clean the house or something like that. Now the idea is you can wake up on those days and you can look at those tasks and go, oh man, I got so much work to do. Oh, and I got to spend. You'll keep looking at your wrists and the clocks and kind of going, oh man, I'm gonna be doing this for hours. No, it's terrible, and it becomes such this huge burden, this thing that's like, oh man, it's dreaded, right? And so what happens is, naturally in these environments, that's when you start to procrastinate. You start going, well, I don't like it, so therefore I'm going to find ways in my head to avoid it. I'm going to think about things. Oh, what can I do that's going to put that off or stop me from doing it? And you do all this subconsciously. I mean, everybody does it, right? So it's not one of those things. Whereas the concept of this quote is that, well, okay, in those circumstances, you're looking at that task, those jobs, as work. Whereas you could be like, well, okay, so maybe I have to get them done, but if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, then it doesn't become work anymore, and now you don't mind how long you do it. And because if you're like, well, let's say taking cleaning the house for argument's sake, right? Now you could look at it and go, well, geez, okay, yes, it might be work and all that, might be, sweat and toil and time pushing the vacuum and cleaning it and whatever else. But while you're doing the work, you can actually feel good by knowing that you're getting something done, and you always like having that result. So when you start the job that, okay, well, the end result's going to be great, and therefore I enjoy that. And so you start trying to put that picture in your head while you're doing it, or before you even started, and now it's not quite so bad a job, and therefore you start looking at things and going, okay, well, that's fun, I don't mind doing that, that's okay. Excuse me. But if you ever happen to notice that when you have that attitude that something's not a struggle, or maybe you've noticed those times, personally for me this is the case, that I'll get into a job and it's like, oh man, I don't want to do it, and I've realized that I've put stuff off. Excuse me. And then you realize that, well, geez, while I'm doing it, as soon as I've started, it's actually not that much of a problem. I've just got to get going, and once I start, it's like, okay, well, I'm doing this now, I'm just going to enjoy it, and hey presto, as I'm going through it, time seems to fly by, and then you realize, wow, it's been that long, boy, I guess that wasn't too bad. And that's the aspect of this being that work is now no longer work, and so it's now a joy, and it's not a problem. And as the quote would say, I'm not rather doing something else. I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing, which is the procrastination aspect. You can take this from an actual job work standpoint and go, I don't want to go to work, and so you get up late in the morning because you don't want to go there, and then you kind of drive and you dread the whole thing of going to work, right? It's this whole resistance, oh, I gotta go to work. And then it's like, okay, so you get to work and you're like, oh, I'm here. And then maybe depending on your job and how your mindset is and what you've been seeing on things, you'll find that in most cases, once you start work, if there's something busy, if there's something keeping your brain occupied, then hey presto, boom, it's the end of the day before you know it, or it's the first break in the day, or lunchtime, or something like that, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, what happened there? Whereas on other days it's like, oh boy, it's just like I've been working at this, and you keep looking at the clock and going, man, what's going on? it's the mindset. So how can you find that aspect of switching your mind to go, well, hey, if this, if you have the mind that this is work and it's a struggle and it's turmoil, then you're going to be at something forever. You're going to put it off. You're going to struggle with it. You're going to whatever. And just so you're aware, this is one of those reasons that highly successful people tend to work all these hours. Like the entrepreneurs, the classic entrepreneur is, well, they're going to work, 80 to 100 hours a week. And it's like, well, okay, so they might. That doesn't mean to say they dread every minute of it. Sure, like everybody else, there's going to be tasks that they don't like doing. But a lot of the time, they can work 80 or 100 hours a week because they're actually enjoying what they're doing. They've got some investment in it. They've got some fun going on. They realize there's an outcome. So you have to kind of keep that in mind, that you want to enjoy what you're doing, because if you're not, it is work. So it's also one of those things that if you're finding that that is your life and your daily toil with your job, maybe change your job. Take some courses, learn how to do something else, or find some way of switching your thought process around to go, yeah, I might not like this, but if once I get into it, okay, that's fine. Or you find some way of flipping how you're thinking about it. Because as the quote says, nothing is really work unless let's start that again. Nothing is really work unless you would rather be doing something else. So as soon as you keep thinking the grass is greener somewhere else, then it's going to be work. If not, you can have fun with it. And while you're having fun at work, your time flies and you enjoy life and everything's rosy. So that's it for me. Have a great day.